Werewolves have been legends of folklore for centuries. According to the legend, werewolves start out as humans. When the sun sets and the moon rises, they turn from human to werewolf in seek of a human heart to eat.
Before we begin, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
Most people know that werewolves aren't real, but there are some animals out there that can make you wonder if there's any truth to the folklore. Residents of Madera, Ranchos, California, they started to think that they had a werewolf living in the orchards off the highway. The creature had been standing by the side of the road. For months, it was very thin and balding. Its skin was scaling, and it had a misshapen tail. The creature looked so dangerous and so scary that nobody wanted to stop to see what it was. This werewolf would stand by the side of the road for months, and then a stranger approached, and they discovered the incredible truth. The creature was not a werewolf at all. It was not dangerous. It just needed help. People drove by this animal for months, until one day in March 2018, a woman driving by took a picture of the animal. Then she posted it on Facebook. She pulled over to the side of the road, keeping an eye on the animal at a distance. She was hoping that her post would be shared enough and someone would see the animal and come help. Fortunately, the woman didn't have to wait long before help arrived. A woman named Megan Bow, the founder of Bow's Adoptable Rescue Pups, approached the werewolf slowly. She didn't want to spook it. What she saw when she got closer brought tears to her eyes. When she saw how bad off this animal was, she began to cry. He'd been out there so long. He was ready to die. He was so sick and depressed. He could barely stand. Megan got close to the animal and found that he was actually a severely malnourished and neglected German Shepherd mix. When she first saw him, she decided to name him King. She carefully put him in the back of her car and rushed into an emergency veterinary clinic. The animal was so sick that the time was not on her side, and she needed to get into treatment immediately. Megan worried that King would fight her when she tried to put him in the car, but he didn't. He seemed happy to go get the care he needed. The vet found that King was suffering from a variety of issues. He had a broken pelvis, a broken tail. He had scabies and several other diseases and medical conditions. When Megan first talking, she thought that he was very old. Turns out, he was only a year old. According to Megan, the vet believed that King was hit by a car. It would explain why his tail and pelvis were broken. It likely happened months ago because King's tail had already started to heal incorrectly after the accident. King was probably too injured to search for food and water. That's how he became so severely dehydrated and malnourished. When King left the vet, he was placed in Megan's care because some of his diseases were infectious. He had to be kept separate from the other animals that Megan was caring for. So she set up a space for him in her own garage, where he could recover without putting the other rescue dogs at risk. King could barely eat when he arrived at Megan's shelter, so she started him off with small amounts of food. Gradually, she increased his portions to help him reach his goal weight. She also needed to help him get strong enough to survive the surgeries that were scheduled to repair his pelvis and tail. After everything that King had been through, he was still a loving and caring dog. When Megan would sit down beside him, he would rest his head on her lap. His hair was finally starting to grow back, and he looked less like a werewolf and more like a dog. After a month, he was ready for surgery. Later on, he started going for walks to regain his strength. King loves to do things that normal dogs love doing, like walks, riding in the car, and eating doggy ice cream. Within a few months, he'll be ready to go up for adoption and find a new home. Subscribe for more.